6 years ago, I made the first major decision of my life to leave the childhood home that I grew up in, um, my family, and pursue a different life. And that choice was the hardest, one of the hardest choices I've ever made. And the reason why I did that, kind of just got up and left, was um, well, it's in two parts. First part is knowing how my parents are, very judgmental, stubborn, and ignorant, as well as very controlling. Um, I had it kind of rough when I was in middle school and um, high school. There were just a few things that happened that I won't go into detail about, but um, I felt that I needed to get away from them, and um, doing so basically freaked them out, and because they rely on control and power, and once I left, they kind of lost that, and I understand that as parents, they were also concerned, but um, I knew that regardless of whether I stayed or not, they wouldn't accept me. They wouldn't accept just even the fact that I'm attracted to women. And so I figured that instead of kind of hiding it behind their backs and pretending to be the person that they want me to be for so many years, I decided that it was best that I left. And um, also, I needed freedom and independence to discover myself and not be afraid of of what they think and what they might do to me if they found out. Um, so the other part is I left to be with my first love, I guess, and we had a ton of history together, and unfortunately, it didn't end quite well, and we did not end up staying friends. And it was also in my best interest to no longer associate myself with her. Um, so fast forward a few years, I I didn't keep in touch with them. I didn't tell them where I was going, why I wasn't ready, and I was afraid of how they react. I just wasn't confident and brave enough to come out to face them yet. And so I decided to just take a break from everyone and kind of fall off the grid um, for the first few years after I left. Um, and eventually I got up the courage and the confidence to reach back out. And I started with my immediate family, and I wrote the email, coming out email, and told them why I left, and um, through my self-discovery, um, what I've realized about myself, and thinking back through my childhood, it all connected. Um, and I poured my honest feelings into it, and I guess it was it wasn't all terrible. So uh, my brother did end up accepting me um, for who I am. My mother, however, um, she was really upset, and yeah, she still kept in touch. So we still talk to each other by phone and text and whatnot. And uh, my father, though, just completely cut me out and like uh, no longer wanted to associate himself with me. That's understandable. So I respect that. And um, so eventually, I decided to visit my mother back home, as well as a few friends. So 2 years ago, I booked a flight and went home. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay with my parents because of the whole falling out and me being transgender and them not accepting that. So I stayed with a friend for about a week and a half, and my mother would come by and pick me up and take me to her job and show me around and even go grocery shopping and clothes shopping. And also, that was the first time that we shopped in the men's department together, and she would pick out clothes for me and I try it on, and I felt like we connected in a way. And even though I knew she was struggling with it and um, denied who I am, it felt like she was making some effort. And so after I left and then came back home here, um, we continued to keep in touch by phone, and she'd call once a week. But then after I started the hormone therapy and my voice drops, she couldn't handle it anymore, and she felt that was too much, and she didn't want to call me anymore. So we resorted to just texting. Um, and so that went on for another a year or two. Um, yeah, so eventually I felt like I really wanted her to understand that I'm serious about my life and that I won't change anytime soon, that this is how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I wanted her to understand that and just realize that I'm not changing. And so a few days ago, I sent her a shirtless selfie of me smiling and um, basically my chest, and I felt very bold and confident. So I sent her that picture and also a sweet little message about learning to love myself, and now I can love everyone even if everyone doesn't love me back. And so um, she replied back with a very religious statement about how I need to seek God's help, and um, that He'll lead me in the right direction of finding happiness. And at that point, I realized that she has changed, and she unfortunately has become a Bible fanatic, and that there's no hope in changing her mind or heart anymore. Um, Unfortunately, it feels like I don't even know her anymore, and she's drifting further and further away from me. Um, so after all of the attempts at shining light and positivity and knowledge about my life and um, the importance of love and acceptance for everyone, she's still in denial. And now she can only think about one thing, which is God and praying, and how you need to live this one way, um, or else it's not the right way. And I really thought that she was different and that I could get through to her, unlike my father. But it turns out she's pretty much the same now, and I'm gonna have to accept that. So I've decided to just take a long break from any family matter that may cause me distress and worry. Uh, I'm just gonna focus on the chosen family and friends I currently have and build upon that and remain thankful for what I have and who I have. Um, and of course, if my biological family ever comes around or realizes what true love and acceptance is, I will welcome them into my life anytime they're ready. So at this time, I'm gonna continue living my truth and loving myself and loving the people who love me back, and be thankful for that. So that is a lot um, about the struggles of my life. So I hope you enjoy listening to it, and want to thank you for your time as well and for all the positive wishes. So hope you guys take care, and I'll catch you guys later.